you want to see how Lewisham turned from this to this? Keep watching. What is Lewisham Gateway? Lewisham Gateway is a private development led by Muse Developments to connect the town centre from its station to its shopping district. The idea for the development started in the early 2000s where an urban task force were looking for underutilised pieces of land. They saw an opportunity at the Lewisham roundabout. In May 2009, planning permission was granted and the plans were unveiled on the 3rd of December 2012. The original plan was to reroute the road to make it easier for pedestrians to get from the shopping centre to the station, and that's how Lewisham Gateway was born. Phase 1 is the completed part of the development. The site Phase 1 is known as Confluence Place, where Ravensbourne and Quago River link. If you didn't know, because I didn't, the word confluence means the junction of two rivers, especially two rivers of approximately the same width. So the place is named after two rivers merging because that's where two rivers merge. How ingenious. The development started with the re-roading of the A20 from this to this. To be honest, all the road layout has done is just cause more congestion in Lewisham due to the many sets of traffic lights there now. But I mean, I guess it's more pedestrian friendly. If anybody remembers the old bus station, oh my days. I remember playing this one game when I was younger where I would try and guess the route of the bus by just looking at the design of the bus from the distance because I couldn't actually see the route number for where I was standing because my eyesight isn't that great. I mean, that game worked out well for me, innit? Good days. Phase 1A is basically one brown building and one white building made up of apartments. This, I suppose, is to show the racial diversity in the borough. These are built closest to the station entrance. Phase 1B is basically a replica of Phase 1A but just built on a separate piece of land. I don't know who picked this interesting brickwork, but it's built now, I guess. Due to the site being on the old bus station, they had to relocate the bus station somewhere else. This location was on an underused site on Thurston Road. There wasn't before, but now there is a bus shelter for drivers to wait until they need to drive their buses. Phase 1 also saw the build of a public park and a children's play area. To be honest, Phase 1 is the less interesting part of the Lewisham Gateway development. Phase 2 is where it starts to get interesting and where the current implementations which are put in place now start to make sense. Because this crossing here makes zero sense. Phase 2, which is the biggest of the phases, costing upwards of £197 million, sees the construction of 4 buildings which consist of homes, retail space for restaurants, bars and cafes, office space, leisure facilities which include a gym, and wait for it, a multiplex cinema. Apparently the total commercial space is supposed to provide 385 jobs, which is a plus I guess. And finally make use of that daft central crossing. The finish date for this is set for 2023, but with Miss COVID still around, who knows? Anyone who knows Lewisham knows that the site of Phase 2 has been left unconstructed for quite some time now. I read this a while ago, but I can't seem to find the site. But from what I can remember, Lewisham Council weren't happy with the proposed designs for Phase 2. So the proposals for the space had to be drawn up again, which obviously takes time and money. Sadly, every time I search Lewisham Gateway online, it bombards me with the new designs, so take that last piece of information with a pinch of salt. The Lewisham Gateway development is essentially supposed to connect the city centre to its station, while also providing new jobs, housing, and essentially a new leisure district for the southeast of London. Talks of the Bakerloo Line extension, which I've spoken about in a previous video, if you want to watch it, I'll link it below, essentially will increase the use of the facilities at Lewisham Gateway. Fun fact, this cinema being built is pretty much on the same site of an old Odeon cinema, which was the biggest in Lewisham at its time, holding 3,050 seats. It closed in 1981. This will also be the first multiplex cinema in the whole borough since the surge of cinema closures in the 20th century. If you know the area, you may be thinking, Nathan, what about Catford Mews? Well, yes, that is the first and only cinema in Lewisham Borough. Currently, it is an independent cinema, whereas this cinema being built will be a multiplex cinema. Either way, it's more cinemas for Lewisham, so it's a win-win. I like the development taking place, and I don't think it's like other gentrification projects, as no housing has been knocked down, causing residents having to relocate. I'm not fond of the lack of affordable housing, but I guess people have to make their money somehow, right? What I do miss about the old layout is how you could see the buses leaving the bus station, and I especially do miss the bus station outside of the police station. It was like getting a bus raffle with buses coming from different directions coming to that bus stop. Which bus was going to come next? Who knew? Anyways, that's about it. Cheerio, and thanks for watching to the end. You're a legend.